zixling Zagi shuguin
In June 2018, the Explorers Club Hong Kong chapter embarked on the Roy Chapman Andrews Centennial Expedition to the Gobi Desert. Throughout the 1920s, Andrews, past president of the Explorers Club, led multiple expeditions to this region. Famously for the day, he brought modern technology to the paleontological field, like a fleet of open-topped motorcars. This is the NASA Terra satellite, and the instrument on board, Aster, gives us a view of the Earth undreamt of 100 years ago.
By interpreting the satellite imagery from Aster, our team of remote sensing scientists and paleontologists were able to develop an intensive multi-day investigation plan for each site we visited. Our camp was located in the most extensively explored area in Bugan Sav, but the satellite imagery revealed further exposures in the distance containing similar layers that might never have been explored by paleontologists.
Let's take a closer look. This is Bugan Sav, a remote outcrop of Cretaceous age layers deep in the Gobi Desert. To the naked eye, the landscape looks much like it did almost a century ago. But the modern technology employed by the Centennial Expedition allowed them to see it in a whole new light.
Our team used a camera with a spectral response that is almost identical to Aster, which we deployed on a drone. The imagery captured from the drone, 700 kilometers closer than the satellite, provides a perspective that someone can interpret as though standing at ground level. Detailed analysis of satellite imagery showed us general regions to investigate. Then, interpretation of our drone imagery allowed us to pinpoint the most promising areas within each region to prospect.
This is a massive shift in scale. From a global to a hyperlocal view, the drone was in fact capturing multiple views of the terrain, as Scott will now continue to explain.
Each layer's combination of minerals becomes a diagnostic tool for comparing and contrasting the different geological processes that deposited the sediment 70 million years ago. In the visible view, we can see differences in colors that correspond to loose sand versus brighter eroding layers. This multispectral view reveals the drastic difference in composition of each layer, and we can easily pick out variations in mineralogy, shown here as purples and greens. Finally, a thermal infrared view allows us to determine the mechanical composition of layers, which means we can identify outcrops, rocks, and in some cases, individual fossils on the ground. In the scene below us, the cooler colors are the fine sand and silt, while the warmer colors are the rockiest materials and the best spots to find fossils eroding out from under the sandstone layer. That ravine just behind you with red spots is littered with fossil bone fragments.
With the partnership of the Institute of Paleontology and Geology of Mongolian Academy of Sciences, or IPG, and their expert field knowledge, we were able to turn this creative use of technology into the discovery of hundreds of new fossil locations and several potentially new species. Let's look at some of the most exciting finds.
It looks like the limb bone, yeah?
Oh, right.
And then I expose wow, that's the teeth.
Yeah.
I finally identified.
Oh, yeah, you can see the serrated, serrated edge.
That is
yeah.
this serration. This is tooth of meat-eating dinosaur. And Tarbosaur Batar. The most biggest Tarbosaur ever discovered from Mongolian Gobi Desert so far.
We spent the early morning covering about 182 degrees circumference of the area on the ATVs. We were able to find a few large dinosaur bones on the way. This is definitely our biggest find. It's largely intact. This we believe to be the vertebrae, hopefully of the lower end of the dinosaur. On the other side of the mesa, we believe we found the legs and a shoulder bone and potentially the cranium. We're super excited about this. We're looking forward to digging it up in the afternoon.
We're now at the point in terms of building our technology toolbox for IPG that it's really going to unlock the rest of the map here in Mongolia in terms of being able to zero in on specific geological features where there are high probability of fossil finds. The technology will allow us to look at potential fossil sites in a lot of different ways. We can slice that data 15, 20 different ways to the point where it's predictive that we know in 10 years from now that erosion is going to happen at point X, and you're going to want to be there for that because that's going to reveal fossil deposits.
The scientists at IPG now have a map of their own cultural treasures in the Gobi and the tools to study and conserve them for future generations.
Using this method, it's going to change the paleontological fieldwork. Previous expeditions, all we have is just a very low-resolution satellite image and try to find these spots, try to pinpoint them on a topo map.
The importance of this expedition will continue to be felt as more historic discoveries reveal themselves in years to come, and as the team works through the mountain of data collected in the field. Andrews would indeed be happy to know his legacy continues to inspire meaningful science.
Chanda